A viewer by the name of Sunitha N5028 asked if I ever made a gluten-free and vegan Yorkshire pudding. I live in the United States near Washington, D.C. I don't know very much about Yorkshire pudding. I think I'm going to need some help. I'm not even sure if I'm up for this task. Where's Fairy Godmother when I need her? Fairy Godmother! Oh.
At your service. How may I assist?
Fairy Godmother, one of our viewers asked if I ever made a vegan and gluten-free Yorkshire pudding. I know a little bit about Yorkshire pudding. I know it's a dish from England, and since you're British, I thought you could help me.
Hold on now, I'm not British. I'm from Queens, New York.
What about the accent?
What about it? Let's get on to explaining Yorkshire pudding. Yorkshire pudding is a baked, fluffy, yet crispy savoury pastry that is traditionally made with a batter comprised of eggs, flour and milk or water. It's a traditional and common English dish served with gravy and roast meats. It's not an actual pudding like the traditional dessert puddings. It is called a pudding, however, since this was a term commonly used in 18th century England to refer to foods cooked in animal casings. However, the term pudding expanded to include other sweet and savoury dishes that were in fact not cooked in casings. As to references to Yorkshire, the dish is believed to be created in northern England near Yorkshire.
Thanks for that explanation, but now I have to figure out how to make it vegan and gluten-free.
I can help you there. You want to make sure your recipe has ingredients that will facilitate a rise, so we can use an all-purpose gluten-free flour and make additions to cause it to act like a self-rising flour. We'll replace the regular milk with non-dairy milk and the eggs with another vegan binder.
Are you able to offer a recipe?
Yes, let me show you what ingredients to use. You'll need the following: 1 cup of all-purpose gluten-free flour with xanthan gum, 1/2 cup of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of non-dairy milk, 1/4 cup of sparkling water, 1/4 cup of aquafaba. That's the brine from a can of chickpeas, and 1 teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. You'll also need a neutral oil with a high smoke point, such as sunflower oil. Let's get on to the recipe. Preheat your oven to 220 degrees Celsius, 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Pour about 1 tablespoon of oil in each well of a muffin tin or Yorkshire pudding tin and place it in the oven to heat up. The oil should be very hot before pouring in the batter. In a mixing bowl, whisk together gluten-free flour, cornstarch, baking powder, baking soda and salt. In another bowl, mix plant milk, sparkling water, apple cider vinegar and aquafaba. Let this sit for 5 minutes, then gradually whisk wet ingredients into dry ingredients until smooth and lump-free. Let the batter rest for 10 to 15 minutes to help with structure. Carefully remove the hot muffin tin from the oven and using a container with a spout, immediately pour the batter into each cup, filling almost near the top of the cups. The oil should be so hot that the batter starts to fry when hitting the oil. Quickly return the tin to the oven and bake for 20 to 25 minutes. Do not open the oven while baking. You will want the Yorkshire pudding to be golden brown and crispy. When they are done, remove from the oven and let them cool for 5 minutes. They are great with gravy, roast veggies, or your favourite sides.
Speaking of gravy, while the Yorkshire pudding is baking, I'll show you how to make a delicious gluten-free and vegan gravy that you can serve with the Yorkshire pudding.
Roughly chop 1/2 of a yellow onion and 5 cloves of garlic. In a saucepan, melt 2 tablespoons of vegan butter. Add the chopped onion to the saucepan and stir the onion for about 1 minute until it becomes slightly translucent And then add the garlic and stir and cook for another minute. Then add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose gluten-free flour and stir that into the onion and garlic mixture and cook for about 2 minutes. Then add 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning or sage, and also a fresh sprig of rosemary and a fresh sprig of thyme. Add 3 cups of vegetable broth, a half a teaspoon of pepper, and 1 tablespoon of gluten-free soy sauce. Then whisk everything together, bring it to a boil, and then turn it down to low to allow it to simmer for about 15 minutes. Then using a slotted spoon, strain out the onions, garlic, and the herbs. Keep the remaining gravy on the stove on low heat until ready to serve. This gravy pairs nicely with the Yorkshire pudding and a side of roasted potatoes and carrots.
Fairy Godmother, I can't thank you enough for helping me make these gluten-free and vegan Yorkshire puddings. And Sunitha N5028, thank you so much for suggesting this challenge. Let me know in the comments if you do make these recipes.
As always, it's been a pleasure. See you next time.
If you happen to have a favorite meal or dish that you need help in converting to a gluten-free and vegan recipe, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can take on that challenge to assist you. Also, check out these next videos for more gluten-free and vegan recipe ideas.